Good afternoon and welcome to Evolve Your Enterprise. It's a second chance to experience the presentation that I originally gave during the International Power event sometime in early June. This presentation will provide you with an introduction to Utilities 400 and how we help businesses improve and grow using our portfolio of products designed for the modern IBMI enterprise. So, before we start, a quick note on evolution. What does this mean for your enterprise? Well, let's look at an analogy between the origin of man and the modernization of our enterprise. Let's say that the AS400 is the equivalent of the primal ape, with the green screen and the difficult aspects of integration. IBMI starts our trek towards man with the Heidelberg man, as while we're still using the 5250 interface, we're adding up-to-date enterprise functionality and technology. Now we start our trek from Neanderthal to modern man, adding a graphical user interface. This could be from screen scraping to full customization of the UI, including elements such as web widgets, with other components and media. But we know that modern man has more than just biological evolution on our side. We've improved our evolutionary standard by more than what Mother Nature, which is metaphorically our IBMI, can offer through enhancements in medicine, engineering and technology. And that's where Utilities 400 come in. As Iron Man, of course. You see, we believe there's more than just modernization to fully glean the benefits of your IBMI enterprise. No other independent IBMI software house offers such a broad range of solutions and services, from the creation and distribution of electronic forms to real-time business intelligence, automatically processing digital orders, delivering web and mobile apps, automating business workflow. Utilities 400 has an unrivaled portfolio of products backed by a wealth of experience and support to grow your IBMI enterprise, and we'll explore this within the next 40 minutes. But before we jump headlong into the portfolio, why you should be investigating in solutions of this ilk, let me examine why we should start this investigation in the first place. And let's make no bones about it, we're here today as there is a growing call to action within the IBMI enterprise. While we remain the way we compete in the business world around us, well, it's changing dramatically. Most businesses agree that to move forward, a strategy that aligns current and emerging technologies should be adopted. Businesses running on I need to build richer and more robust web applications, develop new applications that adhere to corporate, mobile, or bring your own device technologies, and improve their integration and interfaces with their customers, partners, suppliers, and, ever more prominently today, their consumers. Those people including employees, directors, and management. Why? Well, the bottom line is that we can reduce long-term costs and improve agility. Much of what is important information, namely the data and business processes in your business, they are inextricably linked with your IBMI. This information, your underlying data cornerstone, is built up throughout the company's history. Should we not be able to successfully marry this with more present ways of accessing and using the information, this fundamental disconnect could lead to stagnant growth and ultimate decline. So the pressure for change invariably comes from all quarters. So please be prepared. If you've not heard of these already, these are the objections that you're likely to receive. First, from your CEO. Perhaps last weekend your CEO, your managing director, was out on the golf course on the 18th tee. His golfing partner and fellow CEO pipes up about his new whizzy ERP they've just implemented. The following Monday, there's a knock at your door and the familiar, hey, these green screens are old hat, we need something new. Conversation starts. Well, his golfing CEO partner probably probably failed to mention the loss of their competitive advantage, the months and perhaps years it took to get the system live, or the hundreds of thousands of pounds it cost. But the seeds are sown, and the experience you've gained over many years may soon be redundant should you not act. Next, a pressure builds from your partners, stakeholders, and of course your customers. These days, customers and partners demand closer integration with the people they do business with. Suppliers perhaps require better visibility via web portals. And your stakeholders are becoming more like customers too, with bring your own devices and mobilization becoming more prevalent. They demand more precise access to their information with pertinent analytics through a tailored, feature-rich interface over a plethora of devices. You see, old programs, although proven and reliable, are erroneously considered old because of their user interface. Many RPG programmers still write new applications the same way they did 29 years ago. An easy but sophisticated method to web-face or re-engineer these interfaces is required to bring the enterprise into the 21st century. Now, a recent study by the Aberdeen Group agreed and suggested that, well, as the market recedes further and companies look to shed costs, many look inwardly in order to find areas of improvement. Aberdeen's research shows that the top business pressures forcing companies in the direction of modernization are largely internal. The two top pressures listed have to do with agility, the ability to act quickly and make good uses of technologies available in order to react to opportunities before the window closes. Similarly, organizations are looking to become more internally agile as well. In other words, tighten up the production development process, being smarter about feature management and vastly improving development times. Now, interestingly enough, in response to these pressures, the data shows that the best-in-class companies are adopting strategies that involve increasing the agility of development processes so that the changes during both the development stage and the operational stage can be applied as swiftly as possible. The data shows that 59% of all respondents are taking steps to extend agile methodology involving more modern user interfaces, preferably via a web browser for delivery. So given the requirements for change, is it necessary? What options are there for the aspiring enterprise running on I? Well, this is our options quadrant. First is a rewrite. Yes, a complete rewrite of a system can be achieved should your business in question have a team of dedicated programmers to rely on. And we're not just talking about stock RPG coders either. A new team of coders may be required to make use of better, newer web technologies. Even with this resource in action, this high-quality, high-business value solution would take many, many months, if not many years, to implement. Alternatively, we could replace it wholesale. High-quality, low-business value systems should be outsourced or replaced with commercial off-the-shelf software. Re-engineer, retire the system as it stands, but modify code and business processes so that the low-quality, low-business value systems are exercised wholly from the organization, while reliable, key, efficient, and robust, and simply well-engineered code should become the cornerstone for this re-engineering process. Then modernize. This approach may range from simple, non-invasive changes that enable web-facing functionality to full-bore application development and integration to other platforms. Closer perhaps to that of re-engineering model, but without the coding. Typically, systems that are high business value are typically expensive to maintain and should be modernized. We'll explore this in a little more detail in a couple of minutes' time. But looking at bottom to top, the total rewrite in most cases will be the most costly. Replace is the second most costly in terms of actual physical money being thrown at the project, but if you're seduced by the new whistles and bells of the ERP, you can replace. But you're paying for the privilege. and you're moving into the unknown that may require a new skill set that the business don't have, and also you may lose those core key advantages that your enterprise had through your bespoke systems that have been developed throughout the many years. Re-engineer is an interesting option, and one which we'll explore in a few details. This option provides low cost but high return on investment while simultaneously giving good agility. Careful consideration, of course, must be applied to project management. But modernization is the least costly and offers the lowest risk, as we're using proven code without any alteration. To take advantage of modernization, we're web-facing the applications, but rather than simply screen scraping the green screen sessions, we can create GUIs in browsers with added functionality such as graphing results, merging multiple 5250 screens, adding web widgets, and downloading to Excel. And I have a few examples of these coming up, so stay tuned. So while not quite as agile as perhaps as the other methods, it offers the best return of investment and is simplest and quickest to deploy. But is there a hybrid approach that provides the simplicity of modernization without compromising on features, plus giving us the option to progress further, re-engineer if necessary, plus progress us in other areas too? Well, surprising or not, with the enterprise portfolio from Utilities 400, there is. Using native IBMI technologies, open source, and the best of mobile and web, we've developed a unique set of solutions that will enrich and evolve your enterprise. From front-end modernization, including web portals, e-commerce, and application development, to back-end modernization too, throughout workflow and business integration. We do more for the modern IBMI enterprise than any other UK-based ISV. Take a look at the diagram that's just about to pop on your screen. Now, this explains what we do on the IBMI in a few simple steps. So let's start right at the top right. Here we're making your enterprise data do more. Extracting information from the database, spool files, or a mix of both, and transforming it to multiple formats for purposes such as XML invoices, HTML marketing collateral, an SQL warehouse perhaps, XLS reports, PDF statements, PIC notes, and more. The list goes on. Once we've got the data extracted and transformed in a format of choice, we'll want to distribute it. So email a report on a schedule or a trigger, an SMS alert depending upon their database value, add an attachment to an email, or place HTML on a text data within the body of an email. Deliver sensitive XML documents via secure FTP, a network folder, or even Dropbox and more. Then manage the data using archiving and content management routines for IBMI, which we can store either on the IBMI or off the IBMI in a separate SQL. Store, then retrieve on choice. Either way, we retrieve the data using a web-based Google-like search engine, keeping things nice, simple, and easy for the user. So we can create, transform, distribute, and manage content. But what about receiving and processing other people's data and content? Well, we can accept, validate, and pass multiple data sets into our enterprise too. So accept FTP'd XML orders and automatically process those orders as an email attachment. Integrate your IBMI with disparate SQLs or perhaps an access database, and more. Then allow your customers, partners, suppliers to enjoy secure access to pertinent parts of your business through a B2B analytics portal, or perhaps an e-commerce platform, or transactional mobile applications. And analyze all this data through powerful web-based real-time OLAP business intelligence solution using a unified drag-and-drop design studio that also serves as the one central place for designing everything that we need for application development, modernization, and web shops too. Okay, so there's much that we can do to evolve the modern IBMI enterprise. But how do we apply some of these technologies to business? Well, let's take a look. We'll start with Antler and how they use these solutions for interfacing between their logistics partners. First, they deal with all their data export requirements with Route 1, that's our solution for data export, for delivering data in multiple formats and methods, depending upon the file and receipt requirements of the recipient. All these processes are automated to be fulfilled by a schedule or dynamically run depending upon a value or a trigger. Using the integrated rules engine, Antler here are creating CSVs, XMLs, and even text files. Now, depending upon their logistics partner, again, depending upon the workflow rule, they're delivering the article either on a schedule or dynamically via secure FTP and email. Again, everything is set up in the rules engine and automated. But of course, business communications are never just one way. Antler receive critical business information too that needs to be processed immediately on receipt. So here, Antler are receiving multiple files for different purposes. For example, they're receiving dispatch sales orders and automatically entering these into the database on successful validation. Now, there are multiple methods on how we can do this. Using your own validation logic, you can pass this data directly into the database, or alternatively, as Antler have done here, we use a virtual terminal to really key this information in via the green screen. More on this in a minute or two. Finally, we can see that integration is double pivoted. In other ways, we can respond to the data receipts appropriately. In this case, with the weekly receipt of reconciliation data. So once processed, Antler sends back a report that details exceptions. Another way in which this integration technology is used can be seen in the no mean feats example. Receiving orders via multiple methods in multiple formats can cause problems, but it's not a problem for no mean feats as they use iRoute. It's our solution for being able to receive data, to act as their conduit between the external data sources and their IBMI enterprise. Not only can they accept multiple formats by multiple methods, but they also apply validation routines for this, including existence checks, value ranges, and the like. Now, normally orders would be entered via the ERP sales order entry option. Using IKEA, however, remember this is our virtual terminal technology, we're mimicking this process, thus removing manual intervention. Removing manual errors and providing facilities for 24/7 data entry never takes a holiday and there's never a day off ill. So all that time, manual error that we have with people sitting around entering information from spreadsheets that are received, all that is gone. And on successful update of the database, or perhaps indeed failed validation, we want to notify the customers of the results. We don't have to use a virtual terminal, and in some cases the customers may wish to write directly to the IBMI from the iRoute engine. However, in cases such as these, we recommend adding multiple levels of validation. In this case, we're adding a credit check layer for the customer to pass before passing the data to the database tables. And fail or pass, we can notify the customer of the results and ask them to check and resubmit if necessary. Once the orders are on the system, we can activate other workflows too, including the creation of electronic forms. Now, in this example, no mean feat are using the same Route 1 solution that they used to extract and transform data to produce professional-looking forms for invoices, statements, delivery notes, or anything else that requires a form-based output from the enterprise system. In addition, using the rules engine, no mean feat can create it for PDF and forward it via an email. And depending upon the document, print to different designated printers, or retransform and deliver the document as an XML to a designated FTP or secure FTP folder. We can also use this technology to populate other pre-formatted documents too. In this example, no mean feat are populating information from the database with a pre-configured HTML document for automated dispatch confirmation. In this case, the email is automatically generated and sent when the consignment was scanned onto the courier van. So, triggered by events within the IBMI enterprise. We've also, you might notice there, added a soft copy PDF as an attachment too. Marketing love this feature as well to send that information direct from the database to all their customers, suppliers, and so on and so forth. So what we can do is more than just data extraction. We're all about making data meaningful. Like in this example, exporting raw data into a spreadsheet is, well, frankly, pretty meaningless. Using our automated solution, we're adding post-processing routines to transform the data into charts, graphs, and pivots too. Create, transform, and distribute these reports to who needs them, when they need them, and in a format of choice. But of course, it's not just about sending and receiving data in a format or method of choice. It's about being able to access, use, and transact with your data, where, when, and how you want to. For this, we have our Show Me solution that allows you to create stunning-looking web interfaces for you, your partners, your suppliers, and your customers. Using modern web technologies, we can create custom GUIs, portals, and dashboards depending upon our needs. And no HTML or CSS experience is required to create these interfaces. We use our universal drag-and-drop design studio that spans across our business intelligence, application development, and modernization solutions. We can mix and match these technologies depending upon the business requirement. Now, the great thing about this technology is that we're mixing the best of the web with your IBMI. So in this example, we're reading and translating the dispatch database file, I believe they're done on the postcode in this particular example, into Google Maps. Now, if I wanted to change the delivery address, I could change this within the interface by entering a new postcode or by dragging the destination point in the map. This is all done dynamically with read-write completed in real time. The same applies for other web technologies such as the calendar app. Here we're pulling appointment information from the IBMI and delivering it graphically to the dashboard. We can color code appointments by engineer or type, change the appointment by dragging and dropping to a new date, and change the time by drilling down to detail level and editing appointment times. Again, it's all about making your data meaningful. But it's also about making data usable and easy to navigate to. You'll notice the menu systems along the top. We can add a menu and submenus, well, frankly, galore, just like you would on any other website or interface. Other than using the web widgets we just saw, we can display data in graphs, charts, and, well, as we have here, tables. Permissions can be granted to add, edit, delete, and if additional information is available as a drill down, we can click on the hyperlink and drill down to the item level to see information appertaining to the transaction. Simple, intuitive, and fully customizable, so you can mirror your corporate identity for any application, dashboard, or portal that you create. For example, when BookSource changed their corporate identity and website, they wanted their publisher portal to replicate this new, fresh look and feel. So on the left there is the new BookSource webpage, and on the right is their InfoSource publisher portal, developed using our Show Me technology. And it's these little details that count. For example, we can use the same fonts and colors right down to the exact same hex codes that BookSource use on the website, using the appropriate corporate logos and imagery as required. Now, to complete these goals, we work with our customers as closely as they require. Sometimes they just want the tools to be able to do this because it's all drag and drop and easy to implement. Other times we complete a total turnkey solution. It's entirely up to you. Now, we've discussed using this technology for business portals, GUIs, and dashboards, but I want to introduce a couple of additional areas that make this platform particularly compelling, the first of which is in barcodes. We can use this technology to build a real-time transactional barcoding solution for barcode creation right through to scan. I'll first take you through a quick scenario within the no mean feat goods inwards department. First, the operative logs in. Now this could be via barcode scan on his identity badge or a traditional login session. The choice is open. We can direct the appropriate application on login, so designated pickers would automatically be directed to their picking application, quality operatives to the QA application, and so on. Now in this case, when he logs in, we get a menu with a nice big pressable button, clearly marked for ease of navigation. For this process, the operative is selecting stock bookings, as he wants to complete the goods received process. First, he'll scan the pallet. On the pallet, we have two barcodes. The pallet number barcode, which is a unique number for the originator, and the total quantity barcode, the expected number of items on the pallet. Then he'll scan the items on the pallet. Now you can set up the software so it automatically moves to the next line or screen automatically. We can add validation at this point of process too. In the no mean feat example, as we're scanning, the application is providing a sum of the items to be scanned, be this a number of unique items or a scan of multiple items of the same type. So you can see on the application screen here, we've an expected quantity of 8, and a quick sum of all the items scanned also adds up to 8. So we'll hit submit there. And on submit, the application completes the validation. Now this could automatically be completed on scan or manually submitted on button press. In this case, when the operator presses the submit button, the item quality is checked against the validation as contained on the pallet, and as the two numbers match, the application updates the database in real time. Now, if I was in a live demonstration at a customer site, I'd perhaps take you into the warehouse and show you the transactions we just completed within the barcode application as it appears live on the dashboard within the plasma screen. It's a wonderful way, and this is actually a screen from Simon Jersey, who found by having a leaderboard of top pickers, they dramatically improved their warehouse productivity. Or alternatively, you can see these real-time results by logging into your own dashboard on your mobile or desktop device. Analytics aren't confined to simple queries, however. As Shomi contains a powerful online analytical process engine, this OLAP engine performs multi-dimensional analysis of business data and provides the capability for complex calculations, including trend analysis. Now, to create these dashboards, plasma screens, interfaces, portals, GUIs, we use our universal design tool, the Shomi Studio. As introduced earlier, it's a web-based development solution that will allow you to drag and drop elements onto the page without HTML knowledge. It's with this design studio that we created the barcoding application to give you an idea of how quick and easy that was to complete. And believe me, I can do this, so anyone can. I'll take you through the steps that I went through to create this application. So here is the design studio. And in this case of producing an application for a dedicated device, the first thing that we're going to do is choose the handheld computer we're going to deploy the application to. The Design Studio has many different devices and settings to choose from, so we can format applications for dedicated devices. So in this case, we're creating an application for the Motorola Telexon. When logging on, Shomi will automatically detect the machine you're logging in from and set the appropriate screen accordingly. So now we're presented with a work area that represents the Motorola Telexon barcode computer that we're going to work with. You can see here it is a portrait screen of a certain resolution, and that's what we see in what you see, what you get. So let's add some elements and build the application. There are a number of options we can add here, including data grids and panels, which are the data handlers to and from the IBMI. But to start, I'm simply going to add the image. So selecting the image opens my library. I can choose one from the existing images or upload new. I'll select the logo at the top there, and I'll insert the graphic. And just like that, within any editing suite, I can move and resize this to my heart's content. I'll make this a little bit smaller and put it at the top. Next, we're going to add a button. On selecting the button, we can do a number of things, including add animation and text. I'll do that in a minute, but I'm going to show you the other choices for what we can do when someone presses the button. So here I select events, and you can see here all the options available. There are many, from interactions with the IBMI, exports, filters, and more. But as this is a launch menu, I want to launch the stock updates program, so I'll select that from the dashboard. While I'm there, I'll change the button to read stock updates and change the size of the font too. Okay, that's done. Okay, once that is done, we rinse and repeat with the other buttons, and I'll add a smaller logout button to the bottom of the screen for when the operator has completed his shift. Great, so that's the main login menu completed. Now I'll produce the scanning screen for stock updates. So here I've created a copy of the main menu, but I've removed buttons and added a subtitle of stock updates. Now, as I'm going to create a data entry field, I now add a data grid and choose the inquiry I want to add. A show me inquiry is a highly configurable method of presenting, retrieving, and writing data without the need for coding skills. It's really cool, actually, as you can display data as graphs, charts, and even export to Excel if you like. But for this purpose, we want to add a data entry table so we can scan data and the results are shown in real time. Okay, so there it is. Doesn't look very presentable, though. So let's freshen it up by changing the layout. Now within Show Me, we have complete control over the data we receive and transact with on the IBMI. The look and feel is one of those areas. So here I'm going to change the font type, size, and background color. Okay. So what I end up with is something that's clean and fresh and easy to read by the operator. Finally, I'll add a couple of buttons to the interface, one to submit, one to go back to the home page. Now, at any point during this process, I can hit the preview button to preview the results in the Show Me emulator. Now, this will show me how it will look on the actual device in question. In this case, it all looks good. Let's see what it looks like on the device. So in just a few simple steps, we created our barcoding application and have it running on the device. Now, for this particular device, we have it running as a light service through a browser. There's no heavy Java or Flash components used. However, coming later this year, we'll have the ability to deploy your application natively to an Apple or Android mobile device. Running Show Me Mobile as a native application on your device has many, many benefits. First, as the app is native, we have the ability to access the kernel of the operating system, and on permission, we will be able to access and use the phone's features, including the likes of GPS, camera, microphone, gyroscope. In addition, we won't have to rely on a live internet signal. We can work offline and sync the data with the database once we're in a Wi-Fi zone or have GSM access. Of course, all the data will be secure with the enterprise encryption routines added as default to the solution. To create these applications, we'll continue to use the universal drag-and-drop design studio, but it's being enhanced to add native mobile functionality. So how are businesses going to use this type of technology? What is the importance of native apps on the mobile device? Well, let's take an example from one of our customers. Each night, there's going to be job instructions sent to their mobile device for the operator to pick up in the morning. Now, the reason that this is important is that the operator in question for this customer is somewhere out in the back, fixing tractors where there is certainly no Wi-Fi and definitely never any GSM signals. But what he does want is to be able to receive those jobs and act on them accordingly. So in the morning, it'll say, this is your first job. It'll tell him how to get there because it has the postcode, and it'll use the GPS to get there. Now, once he arrives on site, he simply presses the button to say, yes, I've arrived and I've started my job. So it'll have a timestamp, not only the time, but also the GPS location as well. Once he's done that, the work instructions are loaded. This is what we need to do. To aid him in that process, perhaps what's also been uploaded is elements including what's needed for a repair. Photos, examples, manuals, whatever's needed, but more importantly perhaps are the parts. It'll tell him where the parts are, hopefully on van, if not when they're going to arrive to him, where he needs to go to get them from, and all the costs associated with. Once he's completed the job, he again will press his button, a timestamp will be appropriated to that job, as will the GPS, so he can't sneak off to the pub and then say he's done it 2 hours later. And then it'll tell him how to get to the next job. At the same time, if there was problems with the job, he could take photos of that, and any media that corresponds with the job is put with the job. So anyone querying that job, again, all the data, all the database resides on the IBMI, but we're interfacing the best of both, that with the web and that with the IBMI. Once he gets with a GSM signal or Wi-Fi zone, depending upon the choices of you and the operative, all that data is resynced with the database. Now, of course, if he was out in the field and he did have a GSM signal and you wanted that in real time, there is no problem with doing that also. But we're just talking about some of the advantage that we can get with native mobile applications. So with Show Me Mobile, we can offer a completely customizable experience from our customers, suppliers, partners, and operatives on how they interact with the enterprise. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Now, you think that would be it, wouldn't you? But you're wrong. Let me take just a few more minutes of your time. Before you get back to your inbox, I have another technology to introduce you to, and this stuff is really clever. Something that builds upon application development and our IBMI OLAP engine. But this time, it's for e-commerce. For this, the use of our advanced analytical engine as a foundation, but for this web shop technology, well, this makes great sense. Excuse me. But there's a further step we need to take to create the perfect web shop. We've coupled Show Me with an industry-leading content management system called Barcodes. It's open source and written in .NET, the same language we use to create Show Me Web. Now, we're pretty unique in this area, and the marriage of IBMI and open source content management allows you to custom build and maintain and update without being an IT person. So all pretty cool. Let's take a look at some of the features. We'd normally work to mirror your corporate identity, but that's entirely up to you. We create the CSS style sheet templates that you can use to populate with your own images, your own colors, your own fonts, and provide the tools that allow this to be managed without IT intervention. So this simple login page was set up using the Simon Jersey colors, but everything is customizable to your own tastes. So we have another example of this on the landing page, totally customizable, but in this example we're dividing the screen into a number of zones. For example, the top carousel image could be used for advertising or new product announcements, while the 3 launch buttons may transport you to quick promotions, download a catalog or white paper maybe. Then there's an open large zone to add customer content. Video is always a favorite here, text, images, the additional customer content at the bottom. This may be links to the corporate web space, latest news, a Twitter feed, or other useful bits of information. But of course, it's not just about the ability to make things look and interact the way we want. That's the part that makes your data. The information that resides on your IBMI, we want to make that meaningful. One of the many wonderful things about Show Me Webshop is its ability to correlate data on the IBMI with rich media stored within the webshop itself, be this pictures, videos, PDFs, or whatever they may be. Here, with every item within the IBMI database, we're applying images to the data. We've live linked to the back-end IBMI, but this images, they could easily be multiple images for a garment, PDF, downloads, video, whatever it may be. Now here's where the analytics part comes in. We can apply in-memory live filters and search parameters to allow the user to find the article they want with as minimal fuss as possible, much like you would in Amazon. Now for Simon Jersey, who sell uniforms, we've added the body zone filter map. So in this case, clicking the lower body would show results for skirts and trousers. And of course, we could refine this search to add criteria for male, female garments, job role, or pretty much whatever else we'd like to add. So, you sell books, we would probably filter by author, genre, format, and so on. It's all about making the visitor's experience as intuitive and enjoyable as possible. Another way of searching is typically typing direct into the search bar. Now again, we've got in-memory filtering on the Show Me Webshop platform. So as soon as I start typing, Show Me suggests the appropriate articles. So I start typing skirts because I look pretty in them, and it immediately shows the filtered results as you type, which is really nice, a lovely feature. So what we've done in the past just 40 minutes is introduced you into new ways in which you can evolve your enterprise, using native technologies available to provide an enhanced functionality, from integration and automation to application development, all the way through to mobile apps and web shop e-commerce facilities. All this is available from Utilities 400. Now we'd invite you to join us for a deep dive into some of these subjects, two of which are coming very soon. On Thursday, the 3rd of November, we have Decode the Barcode, more about barcoding and how we can produce, read, and develop these barcoding solutions using real-time IBMI processes. Next is the exciting one, the web shop on the 14th of December. We'll tell you how we can use it and provide real-life, real-time examples of what we do there using some customer data. Then coming soon, we have two more. Your data, where, when, and how you want it. We'll deal with all your needs for exporting data from the IBMI and getting it to those people in whatever format they need. Now, the mirror of that is getting that data back and populating it in the right format, in the right way, in full validation, be it populating using validation routines or a virtual terminal, and that's coming in integration, integration, integration. So please do keep your eye out for that. So my thanks to you all for attending this webinar. If you have any questions, please do email them to me. I do see a couple of questions here. I can't quite get to them for some reason. Bear with me a moment. Yes, so can I put my AS400 data source into a web page? Using Show Me, yes you can. This is the way that we do it is through what we call the definitions. Now a definition in Show Me terms is a little like how you would define a query. Well, a query, if I can say it properly, with more bells and whistles, as there's more potential to do more things. For example, not only extract data, and how do we want to display that data, charts, analysis, if I click on this where I'm going to drill down to, but also in other ways too, so I can write back, so I have a data entry field in there too. All this can be done through the Show Me. Yes, absolutely, that would be how it would be done. A quick question on barcoding. Yes, we can create barcodes as well. One of the elements that I didn't show earlier with the Route 1 solution was that, yes, we can create PDFs, we can create statements, delivery notes, whatever you want, but we can also produce forms with barcodes on as well. Once we've created the barcodes, of course, we need to scan them, so it's the Show Me product, the Show Me barcode product, that allows us to scan those and interact in real time. Now, the real clever thing about this is that we're moving away from those batch processes where people are going around the warehouse, scanning things, and then at the end of their shift, popping it back into the Cradle and uploading that data. What happens if that first scan of his during that batch process was a fail? All that work is wasted. If we can add validation at point of process, surely that's a better thing. The only way we can do that is through real-time transactions, and that's exactly what we can do with the Show Me technology. So really, really clever stuff. There's more and more on this on the following webinar, so I would encourage you to keep an eye out, again on Twitter, Facebook. Join us in our LinkedIn page as well at Utilities 400. Keep an eye on our website, utilities400.com, for all the updates, and we hope to see you very, very soon in a future webinar. Thanks to all attended. I'm off for a coffee. Many thanks. Bye-bye.